All right, good afternoon. I'm David Perlmutter from QuantumListing, and welcome to Haves and Wants 2.0, our first online commercial real estate national marketing session. I was on the phone today with Brendan Hotchkiss from Levitt Digital, who is one of QuantumListing's syndication partners, and I was telling him about what we're doing this afternoon, and he said, "Oh, it's like Haves and Wants 2.0." And I said, I'm going to use that. And he said, "That's okay." So uh, it is, it's official. This is Haves and Wants 2.0. I see that one of our attendees says waiting for name. So um, you don't need to uh, tell us who you are, but I'm going to send you an unmute request. Um, And same for you, Jeremy. Hopefully, you have a um, microphone. If not, maybe you can dial it in and tell us. Uh, there should be a dial in phone number so you can participate. Or, Julia, if you can provide the dial in number in the
Yep,
chat.
I can type it in the chat box.
Thank you. So, we have Julia from Quantum Listing on with us as well. So, Jeremy, it looks like you are now unmuted. So, uh, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, excuse me. My name is Jeremy. I am a marketing manager for NAI American Realty in Texarkana, Texas.
Texarkana, wow. How's the weather down in Texas today?
Fickle. It's always fickle around here. Right now, we're working with about 35 degrees, I think, at the moment. So,
All right, well, actually, we're warmer up here in White Plains, New York today. We're 51. And welcome, George Cruz. And for the folks who don't have their names on there, if you can add your names, that would be great. This way we can uh, include you in the thing. So, George, I'm going to send you an unmute request because this is definitely an interactive thing. George, I know. Can you? Okay.
Yeah, I could just unmute myself.
Okay, great, terrific. So, George, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is George Cruz. I work solely with investors and buyers for multifamily down in the Gulf Coast of Florida, mainly Sarasota, Manatee, St. Pete area.
Excellent. And I see Mark Gottesdiener is here. Did I pronounce your last name right, Mark? Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself, or I'll send you an unmute request. Oh. Mark, can you hear me? Oh, I can tell you Mark is from Hartford, Connecticut. Can't hear him, but that much I do know. And all right, so let's get started. I mean, the haves and wants are the topic, and seems like a nice geographically diverse group of people. In addition to having started Quantum Listing, I'm a commercial real estate broker in the White Plains, New York market. I have a company called Perlmutter Properties.
okay.
So,
Just one.
who was that? Mark?
Right.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. George, and I'm not sure who caller number one is. They're muted. If it's somebody who, it looks like they're muted. If you want to introduce yourself, please do so. Now would be a great time. And all right, well, let's get started. So before we get into let's talk about what you guys are looking for. And if you are muted and you can't unmute yourself, then by all means put it in the chat, and I will speak for you. So, George, do you want to get the ball rolling?
Sure. I'll try to keep it quick. I'm sitting in a car with 2 kids, and I can't figure out how to get my headphones to work, so you're on the speaker.
Okay.
But like I said, I work with buyers and investors, so I don't have a whole lot of haves per se.
Mm-hmm.
But on the want side, the buyers I work with are pretty flexible what they're looking for. But like I said, it's multifamily and tangential type assets along those lines, mobile home parks, vacation rentals, things of that nature. Typically 5 units and up to keep in commercial. I typically work in middle market, so the handful of buyers I'm working with right this second, we're all kind of looking for that 5 to 50, maybe 5 to 100 unit properties. And like I said, I'm down in Florida, so at this stage, I'm not working with anyone who's looking on a national level. So it's pretty much going to be called I-4 corridor from Tampa, Orlando down to Fort Myers, Naples area.
So your buyers are really Florida based and looking for
Correct.
in Florida.
Well, they're not necessarily Florida based. I do a lot with people up in New York and bigger cities that are looking to get some yield by coming down here and avoid the 4% they're getting up there.
Yeah, got it. All right. Like I know Mark, and we'll show you his listing in a bit. Mark has a property in Hartford, Connecticut, which he is interested in selling. That's a multifamily property. Hang on. So he's having some audio trouble, so hopefully he'll be able to dial in and we'll be able to hear him speak for himself. Jeremy, tell me, I know that you're the marketing guy, but are there things that you know that folks in your office are looking for?
Absolutely. We're always looking for anything multifamily. We've had quite a few big multifamily transactions over the past couple of years. So we're always looking to possibly invest in multifamily. So that's always a big thing for us down here.
And your buyers are mostly in the Texarkana.
Actually, you'd be surprised. We have quite a few in this area, but we've sold up into Washington State, and I mean, we don't limit ourselves by any means. So.
How many brokers are at NAI American?
At this particular one, I've got 4 on hand.
Great. Okay. And let's see. So, did I miss anybody? If you can't, you're not. Oh, we're waiting to see if Mark can dial in. I added a dial-in phone number in the chat, Mark. But I can tell you what I'm looking for my clients. I have buyers that are looking for industrial on the East Coast from Boston down to Washington, D.C., 50,000 square feet and up of warehouse space. Looking for stuff either in the cities or right near, the big cities in those markets. So it looks like we have a caller number 2. Is that you, Mark?
This is Daniel Bollinger, if you're speaking to me.
Oh, hey, Daniel, how are you? Welcome to the meeting. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for.
I'm an off-market commercial broker in the city. I also do residential. Right now, I have an investor that's looking for 4 to 12 unit rental buildings in Brooklyn. He would prefer them to be completely unoccupied. If they're 75% unoccupied, we can deal with that. And I also have a bunch of off-market, opportunities available throughout the city.
And those are residential or multifamily, rather?
My opportunities?
Yes, sir.
They're developments. There some that have some upside. There's some that you can, some are just multifamilies. They're everything.
Got it. Okay. Well, one thing we can do also is if you all want to put your email address in the chat, that will help in case we want to send things around from here. I just got the ball rolling. There's my brokerage email address. So let's see. So Daniel, you're participating only by phone, not by computer?
I clicked on the link and it's not opening up, so I'll click on it again, and I just get this the circles going around, and there's an image. I clicked at 4 o'clock and I waited 5 minutes, and I said, "Screw it, I'll call in." So at least I don't miss it.
Well, thank you for your persistence. You must be a good broker if you're that persistent. And yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, GoToMeeting. Let's see. I mean, I can just make sure I'll share the link. Oh, that's not going to help you if I share the link in the chat because you're not in the chat. Sorry about that. All right. Well, do you want to email me any of your? Do you have material? Anybody who's calling who doesn't have access to a computer can email me the stuff and just let me know that you sent it to me, and I'll be able to show it up on my screen instead.
I do off-market stuff, so there's going to be no addresses on this and stuff. It's just some information about. Let me see what we got here.
Okay, just enough to entice a buyer is fine. I mean, we are, just so everybody is aware, especially the people who came a little bit later. We are recording this, and it will be available to all the people that registered. We're going to email it out to them, and in addition to that, it will live on YouTube and and on the QuantumListing website, so people will be able to see your material after our session today is over. All right, so George, or I guess Jeremy got on the phone on the webinar first, or whatever you want to call this. So Jeremy, do you have anything that you would like to present to our group today?
Actually, if anybody is in the market for mobile home parks, I've got about 4 of them right now. I've got them in Texas and I've got them in Arkansas. And we also have a couple of big multifamily listings. So if anybody would like to get in touch with me, by all means, feel free to email me.
Let's see. Do you want to? I'm sure you guys must have some marketing material. Do you want to present that on the screen?
Absolutely. If I can get it up here, you have to bear with me. I got a new laptop. So
a presenter invitation, which should have caused a little pop-up to come on your
screen. Yeah. I got it. Hold on just a second here. All right.
There we go.
All right. Can everybody see me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good deal here. Let's see if I can get my folders out here.
I'm speaking for myself. I can see it. Everybody else can see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Mark.
Hello, Mark. We can hear you now.
I've got a few little brochures here that I'm going to pull up here. We've got this one right here that's in Rockdale, Texas. Um, that's actually two parks that we've got available. It's one park's called Arc Homes, and then the other one is San Gabriel Mobile Home and RV Park. You can kind of read the description right there. Like I said, so email me. Feel free. I can definitely email you these brochures. We've got financials on all the parks as well. Obviously, we have a CA on all that stuff, but you know, I don't mind sending you guys that as well. It's a pretty nice park. We've got a specific agent that's over this. His name is Greg Phillips. A little bit of an older park, but they tend to keep up with it rather well. Kind of give you an overhead view here. I'll kind of give you a little bit of a map here. This is going to be around the, I believe it's the southern part of Texas, or actually it's close to College Station. So that's one of our babies, I guess you could say. This one's really popular too. We have a lot of hits on this one typically. It's Willow Beach. It's got quite a few spaces as well. It's in Great Texas. I believe this is actually around a big lake, actually. It's a lake called Possum Kingdom. But it's got a marina, it's got RV spaces, mobile home parks. They even have storage units on here, boat slips, cabins, kind of a multi-purpose facility. 27 acres worth combined. So lots to play with here. Obviously, you've got the whole Texas type feel to all of this. Deep South look, I guess you could say. Excuse me. You can kind of see where where it sits on the lake in this area here. And let me get my other one out. This one's actually in Arkansas. This is Hampton, Arkansas. There's 35 spaces currently with 15 park-owned homes on there. About 5 acres worth. We do have a bigger package on this. We just recently started building this one.
And these are all cash flowing properties, presumably?
Right, absolutely. And any questions, I see that someone typed in a question for me. Like I said, I am strictly just the marketing manager, so by all means, whatever questions that you guys may have in the chat, I will direct them directly to the agent. And like I said, feel free to email me at, I think my email address, I don't know, do the email addresses pop up on the screen for each individual?
They will show up in the chat. And I can also tell you that Jerry Brewer is a QuantumListing member, and you can use, I'll show you how to get to Jerry's stuff on QuantumListing, just so that you
okay.
can.
Now, in regards to the, I'm sorry, excuse me, in regards to the multifamily that we've been touting a lot lately, we've gotten a lot of interest in here. Now, this one's actually in Texarkana, Arkansas. Excuse me. We have two apartment multifamily opportunities here. It's a combined, I think it's 108. Yeah, it's 108 units. One with 2.9 acres, the other one with 2.5. One of them is called Aspen Grove, and the other one is Brook Hollow Apartments. Kind of give you the rundown here. We do really well in multifamily in this area. Really nice apartments. They're in really good neighborhoods. Nothing overly fast. They're in a really good school district as well. They're actually, one of them is actually right across from one of the bigger football fields here in this area. The high school is really close to it as well. So you will typically have a pretty good lease rate there. I don't believe that there's any vacancies whatsoever.
Now, the stand of trees there on the corner, is that part of the property as well?
Yeah, I believe, yeah, typically it circles from here all the way to over here, if you can see where my mouse is pointing at. So I believe we might have a plat on that as well. So I'll have to get that out to anybody that might be interested.
Do you know if there's expansion possibility, or is that?
I would have to find out from the actual broker on that one. Now, this is the second option. This is on 35th Street. That's this little square of properties right here. There's an apartment complex in this area, one over here, and then one behind that one as well. But we're talking about this specific lot that's right here. So Yeah, it's just kind of a little bit of a teaser. Like I said, if anybody's interested by any means, please feel free to give me an email or give me a shout. And any questions that have been directed towards me, I will forward them to the broker, and I'll get in touch with you.
Great. Excellent. Michael Kinney has joined us as well. Michael, please, if you can, unmute yourself and we'd like to hear from you. I know you're a new person on the call. But Jeremy, did you have anything further on that you wanted to share with the group? Okay. So, let's see. George, do you have some listings you would like to share with us?
Me? No, right now I don't. Like I
You're
said,
in
I
the
work
car with your
exclusively. I work exclusively with buyers and investors on the acquisition side.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to take back the presenter role for now, and I can get Mark's. Sorry about that.
Cottesiner,
Yeah,
can you
Mark.
hear me?
Yeah, yep, terrific. Hi, Mark. Okay.
Oh, you can hear me. Great.
Yes, I can. All right, so Mark, tell us a little
Excellent.
bit more, a little bit about yourself, what you're looking for, and then we will jump into what it is you have. 'Cause I know that you have.
Great. Great. Well, I've been in this business 41 years, and I've done everything except build new. I've owned about 130 units in 5 states, mostly Connecticut. I am trying to wind things down in the sense that I've been doing this a long time. I'm a certified appraiser testifying in court, do a lot of court cases. I've gotten rid of most of my units. I don't have that many units now, but I have a really great development project in downtown Hartford that I need a builder, developer, or partner to do something with it. And it's in total path of progress. It's on my have want sheet, and which you can, it's an older summer 2017 have wants, but similar. So I have a number of have wants, which is on the sheet, but my biggest motivation in presenting this opportunity today in front of you folks is looking for a builder, developer who understands the path of progress and has built a 4 to 6 story building. So that's my biggest motivation today. It's right next to my office. It's across the street from a $205 million redevelopment that the state of Connecticut is redoing a 1931 500,000 square foot office building. I'm across the street from the Bushnell Auditorium in Bushnell Park. The Bushnell Auditorium was built as a precursor to Radio City Music Hall. Bushnell Park, the people that did that built Central Park in New York, because Hartford was the richest city in America during Mark Twain's time, because, you know, there's death, taxes, and guess what, insurance. So I'm surrounded by a lot of activity. And that little yellow thing that you see there is the location. That up to the left is the state office building, the 500,000 square foot office building. That's the state capitol there that you're circling. Okay. Below there is the state office building, and on the just south of it, just south of that office building, they're finishing a 1,100 parking lot, a garage 10 stories tall. So, and just to the right of the yellow of my location is a $4 million brand new mixed use gas station, convenience store, and 8 luxury apartments. So I have the little lot next to it, and I've owned it for 40 years. It'll be 40 years in December, and it's ready for a 27 unit small apartment building, 5-story apartment building that my architects have drawn. The big developer just to the north, before the traffic circle, is Conover, who has shopping centers and properties all over the country, and that's going to be developed too. So I'm like, I've been waiting for all these years, and now finally, and I'm just north of Hartford Hospital, which is the largest hospital in the state of Connecticut, and I'm just south of downtown Hartford, which is congested, and all the opportunities there are pretty much gone. So now I'm in the path of progress. So you can see the parking lot, you can see downtown right across the street. And at the peak of the market, when Hartford was the #1 city in America again in 1987, 88, where that sign is and all that, and I'm right there. There's the new office. There's the new 3-story building that on the right-hand side that just got finished, right there. And that, and they're holding out for Hartford Hospital doctors to take all those spaces. And so I'm really right in the path of progress. So I'm really looking for. There's the building that just got built next door to me. So and those are going to probably go from 1,600 to 2,000 a month units, 1 and 2 bedrooms. So I'm right next door to that, and so that's the situation. And if you want, or your buyer or your partner, I have 12 units, could go with it. And there's a composite there, somewhat from a few years ago, of on the top of it, the top of the screen, is the new building to be built, and my existing 12-unit, almost historic 1928 George Zunner built 3-story building, 12 units. In the 12 units, I have my office, and I have now 2 Airbnbs, which I get twice the amount of rent that I would for a normal apartment, because I'm almost filled all the time, because people go to the Bushnell Auditorium. They had Hamilton there for 2 weeks. I get sometimes people who are in the plays, or they stay in my place and they walk 150 yards and they're in the theater. So I'm half the price of an Airbnb than a $220 a night hotel room downtown, which is a 4-minute walk on the other side of Bushnell Park. So, you know, I guess persistence, stick-to-itiveness, and there's a little sheet. That's an older sheet, but I did a newer one that David, I sent you, but you probably didn't have time to put it in your file. But the income has increased substantially, and I've done all the things ready to make this a nice development package for someone who sees. There's the building itself, handsome building, very utilitarian. There's a parking behind the building of about 10 cars, and the access to the new building would be probably in the rear. That's another diagram that I did at one point for connecting the 2 buildings, but because of codes, it makes most sense to keep the existing 1928 building separate from a 2019 new building, because you'd have to comply with all the codes on the 1928 building. So I don't need to sell that building. I could make it a joint venture with someone, or I could keep it. But what I'm really looking for is someone to build to the left, to the left of the pink, which is the new building to be built. And they're going to be smaller units, because the need is for studios and 1-bedrooms versus larger units, because there's just a need for it in this neighborhood. There are not as many families in this neighborhood, because it's kind of like a new area, so to speak, because there's so many parking lots across the street from the state taking over all these areas. And the neighborhood's called Sodo, South Downtown. So I can go on and on about the neighborhood, but I have lots of information about it. But it's a historical. Down the street are row houses, 1890, 1900 row houses. J.P. Morgan built the largest apartment building in the state, 1 block away on Capitol and Main, and those got converted to high-end condos back in the late 80s. So I'm really close to everything, but quieter than downtown, and the noise and the traffic and all the other stuff that comes with being in an inner city.
And I'm assuming you're near bus lines and things like that?
Yes, I'm 1 block from Capitol Avenue, which is a major bus line, Capitol Avenue. There's an exit off I-84. There's an exit about 300 yards is the exit to get on I-91, Interstate 91. I'm right near the river. The SoDo is the neighborhood to be in versus downtown. You know, parking here is half the price it is downtown. You know, a hotel room is not cheap, and I don't know, I can go on and on about the path of progress, but everybody in real estate understands what that is, I'm sure.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you.
And I have a phenomenal 2% fixed mortgage for 5 years on the property. So it probably could be assumable if I stayed in on the deal. Even if I don't stay in the deal, it might be. But because I paid down $250,000 of debt with 2 loans with the lender, they love me. I didn't stiff them like everybody else did back in the recession, depression. So they've been very kind to me, very favorable to me. Let me put it that way. You see that smile under my name, the smile above my name. So I'm smiling the fact that if you work with your lender and you pay your bills, it comes back to help you, I think.
And you said that's a 2% loan. Wow.
A 2% mortgage. Can you believe that? Fixed. 4 years and 9 more months. Isn't that amazing?
That really is.
It's because what happened, it's probably because my taxes went way up because they did a phase in on the taxes. And I don't know how many of you know Hartford, but Hartford almost declared bankruptcy, and we got a deal with the state because half the property, all the property across the street from me, a lot of it is tax exempt. It's called pilot, payment in lieu of taxes. So Hartford is a very small city, and half of it is ministries, churches, schools, parks. State owns a lot of the office buildings, so that they don't pay rent to themselves anymore. They used to pay a lot of rent to landlords, and now when the market crashed for everywhere, they bought properties cheap, and then they took and moved their offices into them instead of paying rent to, like, Conover across the street, who was getting millions and millions of dollars of rent for the Attorney General. It used to be Cigna and Aetna. Before Aetna built the largest colonial building in the world, they were there. Then Cigna, and then my brother's firm, Skidmore, Owens and Merrill, in 1960, way before he was around. They built the first office park in Bloomfield, Connecticut. Cigna did, which is now joined with was Anthem. And so it's, you know, all these companies get bigger and bigger. So this is just a nice small project that can be done. 27 apartments could be built, and it's a terrific opportunity of someone who sees the potential in this type of investment. In the meantime, it still makes money. So, you know, somebody could walk in and they're not in any pressure to develop, to build right away, because I have about 28 parking spaces cheap at only $50 a month. I should be charging probably $70 a month, but I like to keep things friendly. Okay. So it's on a month-to-month basis. I'm
going to add this to my favorites because I have somebody that I want to send this to. So
terrific, terrific.
I did that by clicking the little.
On that list there, I have a couple building lots. I can joint venture with a builder, a stick builder, or a modular builder. I can hold the paper. I can trade it. I can trade the development land. I do 1031 exchanging around the country. So there's an older have-want, but on the bottom of it, it says down. Yeah, I'm sorry. On the bottom says that's my have-want section there. That's cool. Thank you.
Hang on a second. Okay. There we go. There we go.
Okay. So then the bottom section, it says downtown SoDo, Hartford, housing development site, 12 existing units. Okay, there we go. Have. Okay, so I've been doing this have one thing for 25 years. I go to marketing sessions.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for any of those things that are the have on the left and want on the right.
Very good. And anybody who wants to get this from Mark. We'll try to get him to update his quantum listing thing, but you can see that you can reach Mark at info@markgottesdiener.com.
Gottesdiener.com.
Thank
Thank you for giving me a chance to, and if there is anything in Connecticut I can help anybody with, please feel free. All over the country for exchange, but I mostly do in Connecticut.
Okay. All right, and I saw back on. Let me go back to quantum listing to your profile there, and this 18 Farmington Avenue, is that still available?
It is. I'm not as motivated with that one, but it also has a 2% mortgage on it. It's going to go to 3% in April, but it's a 2% mortgage.
Wow.
It's down to about $218,000. So, where can you get a 2% mortgage? Nowhere. I just spent $500,000 after the fire, so everything is brand new. I put in dishwashers, I put in granite, everything. All the kitchens are brand new. Hardwood floors are brand new. I have 9 one-bedrooms and 3 studios, which is fully rented. I've owned that for this month. I bought it exactly 20 years ago. So I've owned the 18 Farmington for 20 years. That's right across the street from me. There's a neighborhood pub to the right. There's the gas station next door to me. That's 24-hour. And there's my building right there. Exactly. And that now is all brand new. Everything is up to 2018 code. Talk about a horror story with the insurance company. They didn't pay me for 51 weeks. And then I had to pay out of my pocket. And that's why the lender gave me a 2% mortgage, because they felt bad because I couldn't do anything for 51 weeks while we're fighting out to give me the money. So meanwhile, I had to pay PITI on a vacant building. And then the insurance company, of course, raised me by 60% on a vacant building with a fence around it last year. So it is. I'm going to write a story about that. Working Real Estate Magazine wants to hear. And fellow appraisers, brokers, investors should know how uncouth that's why the insurance people make so much money, because you pay your bills, but they don't want to pay you.
They work the float.
Exactly. So that building is available for the right situation also, but I'm really more motivated with getting a building built in downtown Hartford while it's really hot, because the state and the city have a lot of money. Some of it's grant money. Believe it or not, grant money. If you come in with the right proposal, they'll actually give you money and they'll forgive it to be paid back to create more housing, because they want more housing for more people to be in downtown Hartford.
So I see that we have been joined by Andreas Senni, who is a fellow Connecticut broker.
Oh.
And I'm not sure when Andreas popped in, but I'm going to try to you're unmuted. Good. Andreas, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little about yourself and what you want, and then maybe you can show us what you have.
Great. So sorry for the late join, everyone. I was stuck on another call, and thanks, David, for the time and for putting this on. Go to the other Andreas Senni on your screen now. So I'm a Connecticut broker. My wife and I own our own hybrid division of the Higgins Group. For those of you that are familiar, dedicated specifically to the commercial side of the business. We hold about 200 million in off-market inventory, specific to development deals and land. So what do I want? I want to close these deals. To that point,
sounds good.
They're here in Quantum. I've got a large land piece in Litchfield County that's unique in that it's 40 acres with a pond. Not a residential, well, could be a residential play, one we don't normally take on. But it's bordered by hundreds of acres of forest and state-owned forested land with hunting, fishing permits, great lodge or business camp. And that's in Colebrook, and that's 400,000. We have a Ostamore residential development opportunity in Bridgeport, which is an affordable housing play. Great opportunity zone, affordable housing. More details to follow.
Which is the Ostamore? Is that
Ostamore? Yep.
Yeah, slow down there, my friend. Hold on. So this looks quite nice.
Yep.
I may have somebody for that.
It says 108 Fairfield Avenue there. Ignore that. That's a syncing issue from build out.
Yeah.
But I'll get you the address. Was that Mark who said he may have someone?
Yes. I have a guy that does co-ops. Would this appeal to a co-op?
It doesn't not appeal to a co-op.
Okay, great. I got somebody.
Then also in Bridgeport, I have a mixed-use development fully approved. This is a 346-unit mixed use. It's adjacent to the University of Bridgeport. They will expand their campus to include it. So it's truly adjacent. Student housing demand a must. New to market credits available. Commercial use. The list goes on. Opportunity zone. Right near that Steel Point development and the MGM, proposed MGM casino. For those of you who don't know,
wow.
I'm sure you all know. MGM is fighting hard to open in Bridgeport, and my team and I, one of whom I call Mr. Bridgeport, have worked hard to secure these opportunities to bring them to market. Railroad Avenue and packets will be available. This one, the owner will JV on. He doesn't want to be the GP, but he's willing to be the LP.
We're still on Myrtle Avenue.
Yes, we are. This one. And then the last property you have there actually is fully leased up, and we have to pull it down. And that was Railroad Avenue. So, all things pointing to success in the market and things moving. Is anybody here on the call going to be at the Fairfield County Brokers event tomorrow, by chance?
I don't know, but let's get some information about it. I may attend. Welcome, or do you have to be part of the group already?
No, you're welcome. Come one, come all. More importantly, you don't have to because you can come to these things.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to shake you. Lastly, we have a ground lease opportunity here, 3541 Post Road. It's 9,000 square feet approved with a drive-through on Post Road, US 1 in Southport.
It looks like you're right off 95 there.
We are right at a MTA stop, as well as a signalized intersection. Everybody and their mother has asked to buy this. The owner will not sell it. The value just goes up, up, and up. But if you have the right tenant, she'll come in and build the building, and we could put a deal in place to move it forward. Previous people, Chick-fil-A looked at it, so on and so forth, to give you an idea. Getting a drive-through, getting the signage, getting this traffic count in this area is unheard of. Southport's got more money per square inch than any other town in the world, or town in the country. Great little area.
This is the lot here?
That's the lot. And she'll pave it and so on and so forth. Build the building, but it's approved with a drive-through. She will not put a gas station there. Many have asked.
Yeah.
No one can afford it.
How many square feet can be built?
9,038.
Okay.
46 parking spots. It's fully approved at that retail use. The client's willing to explore a mixed use and going up in height, but you would have to get approvals there. There is some opportunity in Southport as a town, in Fairfield town, for that type of play, but we haven't gone that far.
Oh, I see Ken Harbour has now joined us. Hi, Ken. Ken's another Westchester fellow, and he may have somebody for them. Ken, I'm sending you an unmute request. Hopefully you'll be able to speak with us and tell us about what you've got. Hi, Ken.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Well, thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about what you are looking for your clients.
I've got a couple of office buildings for sale in North White Plains, 690 and 901 North Broadway. They're multi-tenant, priced, I think, we just reduced the price. We've got a 32,000 square foot building priced at 3,650 and a 21,000 square foot building priced at 2,850. Potentially for a strict investment or a partial user. Each building has about 30% vacancy. The Class B minus buildings, and need some upgrades, need some work. In addition to that, I've got a gas station and retail site on Mamaroneck Avenue in White Plains. About 21,000 square feet. It's got a 2,000 square foot former gas station on it, and a 3,000 square foot retail space. And that's priced at $2,500,000, with again, potential for redevelopment investment.
Yeah, I know those Route 22 buildings very well. I think I've walked through them with you in the past, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of traffic on Route 22 there. Really great location, and definitely ripe for improving.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been in the Westchester market for 33 years now, and almost 33. I don't want to exaggerate. And I think you've represented those buildings, Ken, from the very beginning of my time here. Is that correct?
I sold those buildings to the current owner, and that's probably 25 years ago. And he's owned them. I've handled leasing for him over the years. I'd say that he's kind of, to a certain extent, he's getting older, had some health issues, and he's kind of lost interest and drive to make them work.
Yeah. All right. And let me. We'll have to get you to get your listings here on the site, Ken, so people can see them. Nobody can afford CoStar anymore, so we need to.
Exactly.
Even if you could afford it, why afford it? There's better options. But
yeah. So I guess I'll bring it on home here. I have a property that we're selling in Paterson, New York. It's approximately 13.3 acres. Very good price, $475,000. Nice flat piece of land. Very liberal zoning. It would be good for retail or service type businesses. You can put research labs there. You can do greenhouses and nurseries, restaurants, a health club, nursery, daycare. You can pretty much do everything there, including open your own mortuary. I could make a bad joke there, but I will stop. And so this is a great little piece of property. Route 22 actually goes past those buildings that Ken was talking about in White Plains and all the way down to the Bronx and up to the Berkshires. So this area gets a ton of traffic. And let's see, hold on, Mark's got a note, please. Okay. So Mark is saying, and I'm sure this is true for all of us, we all want to make deals, and everybody's motivated to make deals. So, let's make sure that we get any information shared today out to people. So, this is a nice listing that we have, and let's see, I want to show you another one for sale. This is a bank building in Pearl River. It's a former key bank. It is about 22, just under 2,200 square feet. They're asking $800,000 for it. The zoning allows for bank, office, or church. Do not expect to come in and be able to change the zoning. There is a lot of interest in this property. The zoning has sort of held us back a little bit from making a deal, but we do have a couple of active negotiations going on this right now. So if you do have anybody, please do not hesitate. Have them come right away. And the last one I want to share with you today, and Julia, who's on the call, will be very appreciative of this, is a piece of residential land for sale in Hapakong Heights, New Jersey. It's right on the border of Hapakong and Stanhope. It's about 11 acres, and it's in 4 separate lots. The zoning, the current zoning would allow for 4 houses to be built there. At one point, you might have been able to build more, but they upzoned it so that it's more restrictive. But there's housing all around it. There are no utilities or streets that run through the property now, but I'm a partner in this property, and I can tell you we're very, very interested in the deal. And please, if you have anybody who does residential development, don't hesitate to show this to them, and don't be embarrassed by any offer that they make. So I think that if I missed anybody, please put your hand up now, or if anybody has anything else they would like to say, please let me know. We will be sending around the video, and if I can figure out how to get the chat transcript to work to save, I will do that as well. And it will also live on the QuantumListing website. The video will be on the QuantumListing website and YouTube. So thank you, everybody, for your time today. I really appreciate it, and for participating. Let me know offline if you think sessions like this are worthwhile, and if you would.
Most definitely, David. Most definitely.
Thank you. And hopefully, we'll make this a regular thing. And I think it's great that we got as many people as we did. We had a number of other people that signed up, I think, hoping to get the replay. So we'll make sure that we'll send a link out to everybody that signed up. And keep an eye on your email. And parting words are thank you for being QuantumListing members. And please make sure you update your listings, and if your account has expired, please renew. And thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, David. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.